through your carrier and their cellular network. So it's basically a close to free service that lets you text and beyond text to leave voice messages and other things, but primarily to what essentially seems like a text over an app.
And only to those people who have downloaded the WhatsApp?
Yes, those who are in the network, right.
Mm-hmm. So if I haven't received any text messages from any WhatsApp users, this is because I wasn't myself part of the network. I mean, the creation of the network is part of the idea, right?
Yes, you have to be a WhatsApp user to be able to send to other WhatsApp.
And to receive.
And to receive as well. But as you said, the network is really large, and it's interesting that so many people in your contact list in your smartphone were already users, and that was the same case for me when I downloaded, and it went through my contact list on my iPhone, and I found a lot of people were using it as well. But I have been using it, and one of the reasons why it is so popular is that I use it actually to communicate with people overseas for nearly free as well. And that's something that's really beyond what your telecom carrier is allowing you to do right now. In that right now you're charged quite a bit when we try to text message overseas or even to people domestically.
So, Michael Calabresi, 450 or more, 460 million users worldwide, but it seems like the great majority of those users are overseas. Is that correct? And is that because text messaging fees are much higher for those users?
That's right, Tom. In fact, the vast majority of WhatsApp users are overseas. In fact, in Mexico, it's reported that 90% of text messages in Mexico are over WhatsApp and not over the local, cellular carriers. And that's because the fees for text messaging are still, very high overseas. In the United States, the carriers have tried to get ahead of these free social messaging applications, these free texting, by creating bundles where you pay, one price to get unlimited texting, unlimited voice, and data typically up to a cap, at least with Verizon and AT&T, for a flat rate. And that's their way of getting ahead of this, because this free texting over the internet is really eating into carrier revenues. Text messaging is between 100 and 1,000 times more profitable than voice or data because it takes extremely little bandwidth, and there's no marginal cost to the carriers, and yet they were charging separately for it. I mean, as recently as a few months ago, my family was paying, I believe, $30 a month for unlimited text messaging as a separate service,
And for some people, $30 a month may not seem like a lot, but for some people that is a pretty significant investment.
Oh, right, and especially in these developing nations, Mexico and other places. So people are moving in droves to WhatsApp, and not only WhatsApp, but in Japan there's a similar service called Line. In China it's called WeChat. And, they even have, I believe WeChat in China has even more users. I would just mention one other thing, which is to give you a sense of the scale of this shift, is that analysts project that carriers worldwide are losing about $32 billion in text messaging revenue, last year compared to what they would have made had they been able to continue charging separately for that.
Farhad Manju in San Diego, as Michael just said, WhatsApp is just one of these mobile text app platforms out there. What does it have? What did it have over its competitors that attracted Facebook?
Well, it had a lot of users, and it's growing very quickly. I mean, it's sort of reached this, what really matters in this business is network effects, right? The network effects is this sort of economic theory that a product gets better as more people use it, because then, if as you said, you joined WhatsApp and other people were already on there, so it makes it sort of harder to replace. That's what Facebook saw. Facebook thinks that this network is going to grow to 1 billion, 2 billion, maybe more users. And I think they think it's going to get at users who don't already use Facebook. Facebook has about 1 billion users around the world, but it's really been trying recently to introduce its services to people who don't have internet access at all. In poorer countries and developing countries, and WhatsApp could be a way to get at those users. I mean, it's a mobile app. It's low bandwidth, so it can work in places where they don't have very good coverage, and it's essentially free. So it's offering a compelling economic case for users, and Facebook thinks that it could get at those people. Perhaps as either a feeder system for Facebook, the bigger app, or they may be able to figure out some way to make money from this separately, but we don't really know about that yet.
Farhad, I think you actually wrote recently that by acquiring WhatsApp, Facebook was buying a social system. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. The big sort of frontier for many internet companies recently has been this intercepting kind of the way we talk to one another. Kind of talking to our friends has become a big deal, unexpectedly, I think. We now have so many different ways to talk to our friends. We have, regular old text messaging. We have email. We have apps like these. We have newer apps that rely on pictures like Snapchat, and I think that there's this kind of Wild West atmosphere in these apps where people are using a bunch of different ones, and WhatsApp had really distinguished itself as a kind of, as I said, a system that covers a lot of people. It's unclear yet if it's going to be the only one. I think it's not. I mean, I think we see other similarly huge ones like WeChat and Line in China and Japan and other places, other Asian countries. So it's not clear that WhatsApp is going to be sort of the sole winner here, but it seems like it's going to be one of 2 or 3 huge ones, and Facebook wanted to get a handle on that.
Well, Cecilia, Farhad just mentioned WeChat and Line. How does WhatsApp compare with those two companies in terms of their business models?
Well, in terms of its business model, WhatsApp is very committed to being very simple, uncluttered, unfussy, really. Just to sign on, you really just have to enter your name and your phone number. So it's easy to get on. They don't do any advertising on it either. So there's real questions actually going down the line, how it's going to make money for itself and then now for Facebook. But WhatsApp is really interesting in its timing, and I think Farhad mentions, sort of points to an interesting thing that's happening in the evolution of social networking on the internet, in that WhatsApp's rise really was in tandem with the really fast clip growth of smartphone adoption in Asia. And in Asia right now you have something like 740 million smartphone users. That's more than 2 times than any other market, much bigger than the US. And well over half of those people are using chat apps, these kind of app-based messaging services. So there's a huge opportunity there. And these people